Merhaba, and welcome back to the Ottoman campaign in Ultimate Admiral, Dreadnoughts. So we got one more convoy mission here. 2 Veves versus 1 O-class. Shouldn't be too difficult. I think one of my Veves should be able to take it on. But if the game gives me 2, then sure, why not? Let's see. There it is. How far away are we? We're quite far away. We're just gonna close in on times 30 game speed. What was your torpedo range again? It was 7.3. That's nice. It shouldn't be too difficult for me to avoid their torpedo launch. And yeah, the transports also do not have torpedoes. Something I've realized is still important to check. Just because they rarely have torpedoes doesn't mean they never have torpedoes, as we've found out. There goes their, I think, bow launcher. Let's give them some torps in return. See if any of these are gonna hit. Maybe. It looks good. I think we're gonna get a couple. Okay, that was a little bit too close there. Enemy light cruisers sunk. Let's see if they're actually gonna reduce speed. There we go. The torpedo disappeared. I didn't want to turn while sailing parallel to that enemy torpedo. Okay, I think that transport is already dead. I don't need to close in with the secondaries. That was a pretty good 7-inch volley. Yeah, some very minor damage taken, so they should be ready again for next month. Anyway, yeah, my battleships being built in Singapore, they're finished, or they're commissioning, so they're not actually ready for service yet, but they're also not currently being built, which means I've got some spare tonnage that I can play with. Let's see, what do I need here? All these refits are done, right? Yeah. Yeah, good. Do I want to build some more ships, maybe? Maybe some more cruisers, heavy cruisers. Might be a good idea. I can build 4 of them in Constantinople. And these 4, I don't know where I should have them built. Is there like a sizable port in the Americas somewhere that I can use. Because that would be nice, having a another heavy cruiser squadron somewhere. Let's just build them in the East Philippines, and then move them to wherever they're needed. 16 months from now when they're finished. And of course they're also gonna need names. I got 4 of them being finished next month that have not been named yet, and 2 more battleships that have also not been named. Right, onwards. And the game gives me plenty of meeting battles still. And of course these strikes. Oof, that is not the kind of battle I want. Okay, so what's happening here is that this torpedo boat got damaged in the previous battle and got automatically sent to port for repairs. But the task force it was in has moved somewhere else. So it has gone to the previous location of the task force, which they do. But because there's no task force there anymore, it now encounters a light cruiser all by itself. Which is not what you want those torpedo boats to be doing. They are purely for task force battles, like this. But in this case, they're not needed at all, because the 2 battlecruisers are just gonna wipe the floor with these enemy light cruisers. Or maybe it would have been funny to do the battle with the 1 torpedo boat versus the light cruiser. I could have gotten lucky with the torps. And it's not like losing 1 torpedo boat would have been a huge disaster. Even if I would fail sinking the light cruiser. But it's probably needed in the task force it actually belongs to. Put HE first. See if I can get some big, like 4 belt penetration. And we're actually overpenning the belts too with HE. Because they're that thin. Maybe AP is the better choice. I think I could be able to go through their citadel belts actually. Yeah, like that. If you're gonna get that close to my 16-inch guns, yes, I will go through your citadel layers. Right. And here we go. A similar task force on the opposite side of the world, facing a very different enemy. That is a lot of cruisers. That's a very lot of destroyers, though. So in this case, definitely not going to be able to sink them all, even if these 2 are fresh and fully resupplied. I just don't think they carry enough ammunition. But we could do some damage. And these help prevent this naval invasion of our province. Right, 24 destroyers. Alright. Where's the... There's it is. The last destroyer. Let's take a look here. Which way are you sailing? You haven't really decided yet. Yeah, they're going this way. Good. Because I want to be going parallel. There are only 2 of mine, so... Cruising speed should work without them getting too messed up. It's just 2 ships, it's not too complicated of a formation. But you never know with the AI, it might be too much for them to handle. Still targeting different ships, that's good. Oh yeah, right, they've got cruisers with different torpedo ranges. If any of these are like super slow, that means it's a refit. That means it has long range torpedoes. Doesn't seem to be the case, not with the ones I can see anyway. Might be some further back here that are yeah, this one. You got the long range torps. Crossby. Accidentally hit a destroyer, did some big numbers there. We got some good angles on most of the enemy task force, just need to get this squadron of DDs formed up. Right, let's pick some torpedo targets. 1 target, 2 target, 3, and you're not really in range of anything yet, but I guess Milius will be in range soon. Or Yarborough. Launching it. It's still not in range. Okay, and it's changing course, so pick something else. Quickly. There we go. That shell is gonna hit. Knocking out the torpedoes, so it will not rearm and go again. My torpedoes are hitting. Not doing too much yet, but there we go. These three are getting away unharmed. This one also really not hit that hard, except for, you know, the torpedoes being gone. "11 torpedo hits in total. It's not like the best result, but it's not terrible, I guess. Dervis is taking some return fire, but it's not too serious. We've almost sunk Elfin already. If I can damage a ship, there we go, it actually sank hard enough that it will, okay, it sank too. If I can damage it heavily enough that it will be automatically sent to port for repair for many months, I will consider that good enough. Because if you think about it, that means it's a ship I could take as war operations. Maybe. I think the war is probably gonna last a while though, because I plan to do some naval invasions. Wilkes not doing too hot, but he's also not turning back. Keeps coming closer. They're almost ready again. Wilkes went down. Let's see about O'Brien. There we go. Or will I be able to sink them all? Probably not, but it's looking good so far. Destroyers are still coming closer, which is fine. I got the secondaries ready to take them on. So these have quite short range torpedoes. They're going to be in range of my 6-inch guns long before they get to fire. Speaking of torpedoes, let's see, main guns still focused on the cruisers. But still accidentally hitting some destroyers here and there. Let's not get too far out of range. Okay, torpedo time. Crosby, you're a slow target. I'm not sure what Humbleton is going to end up doing, so it might do some weird maneuvers or something. There we go. All torps are spent. Actually, make sure they're all not drawing the enemy away from my task force, or from my 2 battlecruisers. At least not in the opposite direction. Torpedoes are looking pretty good. We'd be able to score some hits here. I need to select some main gun targets too. They started to shoot at the destroyers again. Not a lot of torpedo hits. Not as many as I was hoping for. But who knows? $13. Up from what, 11? That's 2 torpedo hits out of many. That wasn't good dodging by the enemy ships. Because those torpedoes were pretty much going where I wanted them to go. Into the center of the enemy formation. There you go, Crosby took some hits. Crosby has some armor. Well, not really a lot more armor than the original design. This is a refit. But it does have a better citadel. It did actually get something from that lack of speed. Chaffee will sink from that, I think. Or... no, it's under control. It was down to less than 1%, which typically means it's gonna sink. There we go. There it goes. Yeah, no, you know what? We can finish off Omaha as well. While we're here. .30 kilometers away, we could get closer. I would still be safe. Yeah, getting the light cruisers and the heavy cruisers. Probably the most important thing here, because that's where all their tonnage is. And because this is a fairly small task force, mine that is, it doesn't really raise the required tonnage for the American naval invasion that much. There we go, Crosby goes down. Worcester goes down, that was one salvo. Chester next. Okay, I guess we grabbed a couple DDs before I had time to change targets. That's fine. Now, Benfield. Greedy battlecruisers. Don't even give me time enough to change targets before grabbing another kill. What's the range of my 6-inch guns? We're almost in range of this line of destroyers. We can actually maneuver a little bit closer and put those secondary guns to use. Okay, yeah, these guys are still chasing my destroyers. Aren't you? If I can get the main guns firing one direction and the secondaries firing the other way. Guess that was not as easy as I'd hoped. Is that as good as it's gonna get? I don't know. Let's just roll with this one. We are scoring hits though on that cruiser. Even at that range. It's just completely left its destroyers behind. Because it's quite a bit faster. My 4-inch guns are almost in range too. Let's get some accidental hits here by targeting the one in the back. The typical exploit. There we go, flooding hit on Hambleton. You will not be getting away. Now, if the AI was a little bit smarter, it would of course be turning these destroyers around and actively attacking my battlecruisers, getting closer and into torpedo range. I mean, I'm still faster, so I would be able to turn around, but that would at least throw me off from chasing this heavy cruiser. And I would be spending a lot less time that way inside of my secondary range. There we go. All enemy destroyers. Nah, not all of them. They got a couple left here and there. I could just finish off this guy. HE, please. We're gonna get it on structure, I think. There we go. Then we can take out Milius and then end the battle. Because I'm not going to go back and chase for the ones that are heavily damaged. Although I guess I could, if I wanted to, and also sink them, so I was wrong when I said I would not be able to sink them all. I would be able to. I would just prefer to maybe maybe leave some of these heavy cruisers alive at the end of the war. I can damage them. It looks like 2 of them were left. 1 light cruiser. That one I should probably have hunted down and destroyed. And 2 destroyers, so that was much better than I thought it would be. Like in terms of gunnery. These battlecruisers are like much better than I thought they would be. Nice. Maybe I should build some more of them too. And here we go. Against their former masters, the Des Moines. Well, it's just 1 light cruiser, but it looks to be a different class than the ones we've seen. I'm just gonna send everything else home. As not needed here. Yeah, I've named some of these heavy cruisers after older armored cruisers that I've retired. Just to give them a name. Laboon and Des Moines have not been renamed. Because I'm running out of names. And they already had names, even if they are, well, foreign. And they're not even following the correct US Navy naming convention for battleships. But that's okay. They're in the Ottoman Navy now. One main belt pen for big damage. Yeah, this is different. This is a different hull than the ones we've seen. Oh yeah, no, we've seen these. These are the ones without any torpedoes at all. 1.3 on the third inner belt. That's equal to 13 inches of main belt armor. So you don't need much actually to get some pretty decent protection out of the citadel layers. But yeah, 13, I can go through that at very long range with these 19-inch guns. So why are we firing HE then? There we go. That was some big hits right at the end. And 2 more convoy battles. Right, heavy on light cruiser, battle cruiser on heavy cruiser. So I'm one-upping them in both cases. See about our naval invasion here. 100% chance to succeed. Excellent. That one destroyer is not gonna bother me. 82% chance to succeed. But that has not been updated. After I sank so many ships. Because they do not have the tonnage to invade Southern Colombia. Now for this month's invasion, let's start with Maine. Here's one destroyer that belonged to a task force. And join this task force. If I send these here, they might be able to strike Boston. These ships are moving out. And they should, if the invasion is circled on Portland, they should be like inside of the invasion circle. Right, convoy battle. Girtep versus a Dresden class. And there is the enemy. Distance, quite far. Now, despite this being a battlecruiser and that just being a heavy cruiser, in terms of size, we're not too different. We're not too different, you and I. CA871. Yeah, it's 19,000 tons. I'm 20.8. You can make these ships up to 21,000, I think. Or maybe even bigger. I think I do have the armor advantage, though. Yes. And 12-inch guns versus 11.6-inch guns. But I do have more of them, because they, for some reason, only have 2 main gun turrets. On that very, for a heavy cruiser, very big cruiser. They got the torps, though. Also, I'm like 4 knots faster. Had this been vanilla, they would have a very huge advantage in resistance. Because this particular German heavy cruiser hull in vanilla is kind of broken. They have launched. You can typically reach minus 100% gun damage without really trying too hard. That's one of the things that is fixed. Ooh, there goes my secondary tower. Luckily, that seems to have been the extent of their damage that they dealt to me. Really, I'm only paying 400 million for this battlecruiser. It's quite a bargain. And no torpedoes on the enemy transports. That's good to see. Pillau has surrendered. Medusa now also taking secondary fire. And has also surrendered. Now, do we have time for the other convoy battle as well? I think we do. Yes, let's do it. Kakadagi, once again. Become quite a habit of getting into these convoy battles. And we are enjoying some nice weather in the Baltic Sea. Plus 50 to accuracy. I think that's as high as that modifier can go. That transport was in the wrong place in the wrong time. Or rather, it didn't do anything wrong, it was keeping formation. It was a light cruiser that kind of ruined things for it. Decent hits being scored on CL-152. Catch a name. Not that half of my ships aren't any better. They launched something. Probably their bow tube. Their main tower is out. And there she goes. Surrendered, actually. What did I blow up to make so many crew members die? Torpedo, main gun. Right. I need to place some ships in port near the U.S. East Coast, so I can get some convoy battles there too. But I'm not sure if the Americans have any ships of their own in port, and if they don't have any ships in port, then I will not have anyone to have a mission against. That's in the Caribbean. Got ships in the Caribbean. I don't have any ships in the Gulf of Mexico or Gulf of America, whichever you prefer. Labrador Sea, that's not really too relevant. I guess I don't have any ports at all in Eastern North America. Let's see. Let's start another naval invasion while I'm here. Against what though? Oh, yeah, I did start this one against Cachao Bay. That's going well. Oh yeah, I just started the naval invasion against Maine. Never mind. That's just drawing a blank after those convoy missions. But yeah, that was this month. So that's it for July of 1954. That's it. Let's see what's happening in August before ending the episode. Right, click through the events first and the strikes. And oh yeah, I forgot to send this torpedo boat back to its task force. So that's something I gotta do. Looks like these have not withdrawn back to port for repair. We're gonna have to fight them again, but that's fine. I know these can do it. Goodbye, and take care.